Hello, my name is Michael Swalley. I serve with Break Free Ministries. We are a ministry that focuses on reaching hip-hop culture in urban settings and really addressing the problem of fatherlessness. And so today I've been asked to speak on how are we creative and how can we be creative as we reach fatherlessness in urban settings. And so right away, we know the main issue of fatherlessness. I think it's the primary issue globally facing us as a society. The enemy has really taken out families by taking out husbands and fathers. And so that is the main issue we're coming up against. But then as we start to talk about urban settings, we come up against another problem. Urban missiologist David Broderick says this: the greatest problem when we try to minister to urban settings is complexity. The complexity of the city paralyzes us. It actually kills creativity. And so as we start to talk about urban ministry, which is where we need to be, because the vast majority of the population of the world is in urban settings, so the church needs to be there. So as we talk about creativity in urban settings, the first thing we need to do is we need to focus. We need to focus on what people group in a city center are we going to try to reach. And people groups and urban sociologists are seeing this as they gather in high density areas. Geography is not what they gather around. And so we can't really think of the city as broken up into geographical areas. When we want to focus in a people group, we actually need to look at affinities. And affinities are common passions or even common sufferings. And so for us at Break Free, we focus on the hip hop culture. The hip hop culture is very much an affinity in every major city around the world. And then even focus more and you can think, okay, what man are we going to reach or what woman are we going to reach? And I know for the hip hop culture, it's a 30-year-old male. Here in the States, it's a man of color. He comes from a fatherless home. He's repeating the process. And for the most part, he has no gospel voice in his life. And so as we start to focus in on that man, creativity can flourish. And then, as you start to go out and you recognize your affinity, what people group are you going to reach? You need to go as a team. Caesar Kalinowski, who is a great missiologist, he says this: we are a family of missionary servants. Discipleship is not a one-on-one endeavor. Discipleship is a communal endeavor, and especially as we start to go into urban context. Again, there's so much complexity that we need to go as a community, and creativity, again, flourishes in community because we all have our different gifts, we see things differently. So first, recognize and identify the affinity, the people group that you're going to go after, and then go as a team, go as a community, and you'll see your creativity flourish. Now, as you do that, there's two main benefits to that. One is as you focus on a people group, these affinities are actually common across different cities and even countries. And so Break Free has expanded to 11 different cities. And people will ask, well, how did you identify those cities? And we didn't identify the city itself. It was the hip hop culture. This is our focus. We were able to go across cities because there's commonality within the hip hop culture. A practice space, which is our main way to reach men, looks the same in Chicago as it does in Dallas, as it does in Philadelphia, as it does in Argentina, as it does in Spain, or Cameroon, or Ukraine. See, we are able to expand effectively because of our focus. And our mission statement, which is very tied to the affinity group, is that we are unleashing spirit-empowered communities to engage the global hip-hop culture. And because of that mission focus, we could see that expansion across cities. But unity then within a city center, right? So how do we reach that one city? That's going to be brought about by your vision. So your mission, what we do, you're able to really focus and be creative. But then what's going to unify different ministries in a city? That's going to be your vision. What is the world going to look like if you accomplish your mission? And so if our mission is accomplished, if we're able to engage and reach the hip-hop culture, our vision is that urban communities, healing of their father wounds, will creatively and boldly advance the kingdom. Now that a lot of people will be unified around. That's what's going to bring different ministries who are in their lanes, really focused. That's going to bring ministries together, and then we can start talking about reaching a city. And as you start to bring those ministries together, creativity is going to flourish even more because you're bringing in more of the body, you're bringing in more passions, and people who are focused in their affinity groups. And so if we want to cut through the complexity of urban ministry, again, you need to identify the people group that you're going to go after. You need to go forward as a team. And then as you're focused on your mission, you need to let the vision unify different ministries. And then I'll say this lastly, the issue of fatherlessness is a complex and generational issue. We need to be ready to invest years and years and decades into this ministry. Without success as our main goal, that cannot be our main goal, but faithfulness to the call that we have on our lives. Faithfulness, fixing our eyes on Jesus. And that is how we are going to succeed. And that is how creativity is going to flourish.